I want to welcome you guys to the Printing Ideas for Every Season webinar. My name is Dave with Stalls and Transfer Express. I've been in the apparel decorating industry now for 14 going on 15 years. Learned how to screen print on my kitchen table all the way back in the day and spent the last decade plus apparel decorating, as well as working in commercial print shops, from screen printers to full service printers for offset printing or stickers, large format banners, sublimation, direct to garment, pretty much any way you could put ink on a substrate. I've been near it, and it's been my almost entire world. And I'm happy to share all of the knowledge that I've picked up over the years to share with you to really help you be successful regardless of what your business looks like. I am joined here today by Mike behind the scenes. So we have a ton of stuff to get through today. I'm going to try to stay as focused as I can here on the slides. Of course, we have the chat section that I will glance at, and that's the beauty of these interactive webinars, that you are able to ask questions and get them answered in real time. If I don't get to the question, Mike will be able to get to the question in that chat section, as well as we download the chat and we'll follow up. If we missed a question, we'll follow up via email to make sure that your question is answered if we did not get to it here live. Of course, this will be recorded and the replay will be available within a couple days, maybe next week sometime, on our YouTube channel. So be sure you head over and subscribe to the Transfer Express YouTube page. Stay up to date on all things heat transfers, heat printing, apparel decoration, and even small business tips and marketing tips like we're going to cover right here today in this webinar. So a lot of this webinar is focused solely on helping you stay relevant with your customers, because being relevant with your customers is incredibly important to essentially capture those sales. And as apparel decorators, the seasons change, right? The trends change, as well as what we should be showing in our marketing. So really here, take kind of these notes based on the relevancy of your specific target audience. We're going to cover a whole bunch of different ideas that you could utilize as an apparel decorator, and some of them should fit perfectly within your niche or audience or target market as it currently sits. And some of them may be, wow, great inspiration to kind of step outside that box a little bit, expand your services, expand your customer base, but all really, really great ideas that we've seen year over year over year be incredibly profitable and popular for apparel decorators. And here in this late June, early July is really when things start to ramp up. We see a lot of apparel decorators hit their busiest peak, definitely going into the fall when we talk about all these events. So that's the kind of stuff that we're going to be focused on here today. Right off the top of the bat, we are going to be talking about what is heat printing, right? So here at Transfer Express and Stalls, we are here to empower your business to grow, and we've been doing it since 1932, all the way back from just felt letters for athletic uniforms to heat transfer vinyl, and now, of course, direct to film and screen printed transfers, and all of these super high quality heat applied products that we have available to you. So we're going to cover that a little bit. Then we're going to go through by month to month ideas and kind of talk about the schedule of how far you should be thinking ahead, and fill you with some inspiration to stay relevant to your customers with the goal of selling more apparel to your target audience. We're going to talk about a few apparel choices. We're going to talk about creating art and designs, and you don't have to be a graphic design pro. You don't have to go to school to learn how to use Photoshop. I will say I got into apparel decorating from a creative background, totally still paying on those student loans for my graphic design degree, but you do not need one. I will share the experience and some really cool tips and tricks and software that will empower you to create professional designs, even if you can't draw a stick figure, right? So stay tuned for that. And then we'll also talk about some where to sell tips. Of course, e-commerce on the rise, but some of these kind of topics and, ideas, inspiration, and themes for custom apparel span your local community to kind of national things. So definitely things to keep in mind as you go, as we go through. And I see a lot of decorators in here shouting at your business and the way that you, or where you guys are from. Jolene from Russell, Kansas. Podunk, nowhere. I love it. Sue from Florida. And Raina asks, will we be at ASI Chicago in July? You betcha. Find the Stalls booth there at the ASI Chicago in July. So cool. Let's jump right on in. And like I mentioned, if I don't get to your question or your chat, that Mike will be able to answer that, and he'll be throwing links in to things that we'll mention. So if they're helpful PDF downloads or whatnot, that he'll link them right in here. And if you are watching the replay, we're going to try to put them in the description. But if you don't see a link for something, leave a comment and we will respond to that all the time. I respond to a lot of those comments typically at like 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm laying in bed and can't sleep. I turn to YouTube to help you guys out in all of those comments. So we want to be as helpful as we can, and that is what we're here for. So let's utilize this next hour and change to help your business out in any way we can. So let's get into heat printing, right? Just real quick, we could see a show of hands in the chat if you guys are currently decorating with a heat press. I'm going to bet it's a lot of us in every single apparel decorating shop that I've worked in, print shop, there's always been heat presses present. So whether you are a huge business or a smaller business, I absolutely love heat printing because it really reduces the learning curve, allows you to kind of bring anybody in. It's quick, it's agile, it's lean, and incredibly profitable. I mentioned right at the top, right when we kicked off, that I learned how to screen print on my kitchen table the hard way. Screens, inks, emulsions, spraying out emulsion in my bathroom, in the bathtub. And when we're drying screens, I put them in the bathroom because there was no windows in there. And my girlfriend was like, hey, you can't go in there. There's screens drying. Please don't expose my screens. Luckily enough, those t-shirts I were printing were sweet enough, and she still decided to marry me despite the mess in the bathroom with screen printing. But with heat printing, if I had known about screen printed transfers back then, I don't think I would have ever picked up a squeegee to get that same result with, say, a screen printed transfer that looks and feels just like the real Plastisol ink without the hassle of all of those inks, emulsions, and all of that mess of the cleanup that you could do from anywhere, a spare bedroom, your kitchen table, anywhere that you could do this. All you need is a heat press. So that's what we see here on screen. I love the benefits that you could extend to your customers, right? I talked about no mess for yourself, but for your customers, it is very, very quick turnaround. So the national average right now is 10 to 14 business days. That includes all of those national printers that spend tons of money advertising on Google. So if you just type in custom t-shirts into Google, it's going to be 10 to 14 business days. So 2 weeks plus to get your apparel delivered. So with heat printing, you could usually cut that down to 3 to 5 business days that you're able to deliver those decorated goods to your customer. That's going to help you stand out and capture more sales, especially if you're just getting started, focusing on your local community to be able to provide those quick turns. Or another thing that's great for heat printing is personalization. So the quick turns combined with maybe low quantity minimums or those custom services like names, numbers, or putting little monograms or something on any piece of apparel, even backpacks. We're going to go way past just t-shirts here today with a lot of items and inspiration to print, but that's definitely something to keep in mind, and that's going to help you stand out and be successful and capture those sales for yourself, as opposed to them just going to a national printer. Also, doing it yourself with a heat press, it is a minimal investment, and you're able to essentially print on almost any item. Like I mentioned, going past just regular t-shirts, but hoodies and backpacks, tote bags, socks, and I will say last year I was even using heat applied products and heat transfers to decorate shoes. So there's a ton of stuff that you could do with all of those different placements. If you could fit it under a press, you could totally print on it. And then also with that too, you could get unique locations that you can't buy from one of those national printers. Say just a little placement on a sleeve. Not everybody's going to be able to offer that. And you connecting with your decorators, or you as a decorator connecting with your customers, is going to help you identify those added opportunities. Maybe even for like the inside labels, you have somebody wanting a little bit more of a retail look, and you're able to print the inside of the back of the neck right here to be able to really elevate the apparel and drive the revenue up for not just you, adding an additional print placement, but for your customer who's going to be able to charge a premium to their customers at the end of the day because it looks like a retail ready product, which is absolutely fantastic and empowers you as a decorator with a heat press. Of course, The benefits to you: lower financial risk and investment, like I had mentioned, a way lower learning curve. So that time investment that you're going to put in to be able to get those professional quality results, I will guarantee it. Within an hour of setting up your heat press, you will be able to provide professional, retail-ready quality results with your heat press. That took me about 3 weeks to learn with screen printing, right? I love the art of screen printing, and I think I always will, but 9 times out of 10, when I am looking to profit and produce apparel efficiently, not 9 times out of 10, 99% of the time, really, that I'm going to go to the heat press for that. You get to use pretty much any blank. So cotton, polyester, cotton poly blends are all available in essentially any decoration method. So if you need full color prints or you want screen printing, even if you want to do like embroidered looks, right? There are patches and emblems available at stalls that are going to be able to give you those services of embroidery or laser engraving, right? You want some nice leather patches. You could do all of that very, very easily with a heat press. So it really opens the doors up to expand your capabilities. Maybe if you are already embroidering, or maybe you do already screen print, right? And looking to add on to your services, the specialty effects, the glitters, the glow in the dark, the multicolor prints that I know are a challenge to put on press for a small decorator. So all of this stuff in here. And I see a ton of hands in there in the chat section of everybody who said they were currently using a heat press in there. So absolutely fantastic. So let's keep moving on. We talked about heat presses themselves and why heat printing. But one thing that I really want to point out here is there is a wide world of heat applied products out there. So heat transfer types, right? And not all of them are created equal, and they do differ based on what material you're printing on. But I will say, I mentioned the YouTube channel. So on YouTube, we have our Transfer Express channel where we have tons of helpful tips. And we just released a video that was the top 5 tips to increase your profit as an apparel decorator, right? Just 5 simple tips. But I will say, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the video already or you haven't subscribed, spoiler alert, number 1 on that list was utilizing the correct transfer type. We see so much DTF on the market right now. And I will say, absolutely love direct to film transfers. But in some cases, you could be, kind of eating into your profit margin or possibly pricing your jobs out too high with, depending on your art, depending on how many colors are in your design, depending on how much quantity you need, right? So all of these different variables. And that's why we have this what to use when chart here, so that you could be the most profitable that you can be. You could quote jobs accurately for your customers and get them the solution that's going to fit that scenario. So Mike will throw a link in here to the Transfer Express page where this what to use when guide lives. So you could download this PDF and have it handy for your next project. But essentially, it's going to break it down based on, for the most part, 3 variables, right? So it's going to be how many colors are in your art, number 1. And you see that up and down the side. And then across the top is the general quantity that you need. So whether it's just 1 piece or you're printing 48 or 100 pieces, essentially the chart just extends into perpetuity. And we'll go as far as you want it to, but the main breakdowns are defined by these lines, essentially by price. So we did the colors in your design, the apparel quantity that you need, and then in each section, you'll see it broken down based on the fabric that you're printing on. So like for the big orange section, screen printed transfers, for cotton polyester and cotton poly blends, you could use Goof Proof or Hot Split Retro. I love Goof Proof. That is the emulating exactly the screen printing look and feel. Nice soft hand on the shirt. This is DTF that I'm currently wearing, the Ultra Color Max direct to film transfer on this polyester shirt. And you can see no scorch marks. This is a Mercer and Metal polo from transferexpress.com. You could get it in the wholesale apparel section. And this is like my favorite polo I've ever worn, right? But no heat sensitivity issues because 100% polyester. And I just needed 1 of them, right? So it's going to fit in that CAD cut or Ultra Color Max range right there for the DTF. So back to our screen printed transfers. Say we have a customer who says, I want 48 shirts. They're going to be 1 color, right? You're going to get the cheapest and most efficient option with those screen printed plastisol transfers. So this handy chart is just going to get you pointed in the right direction. Of course, if you have 12 quantity and the customer says, I really want it to look screen printed, Okay, you absolutely could still do screen printed transfers for that because the customer wants it, but just let them know it's going to be a little bit more expensive and maybe price it out as the other option, whether you're going to use the Ultracolor Max Direct to Film or CAD Cut. If you have the abilities to do heat transfer vinyl, oh, you need a lower quantity, it's going to be a single color image. I could actually get it to you a little bit cheaper if we change this print method. I found over the past 14 years that many customers have no idea what decoration methods are. A lot of people think of just t-shirt printing and they'll call it silk screening or like, do you screen print t-shirts? It's like, yes. They're really just asking for custom t-shirts, right? And you could emulate that screen printed look, of course, with screen printed transfers, or you could use other methods like this. Nobody's going to know what decoration method this is. Nobody's asking for direct to garment, or you're not going to have any customers come to you and say, I want a direct to film print. They don't know. They don't care how the sausage is made. They want the hot dog, right? So they don't know what's going to go in it. They're not super well versed on decoration methods, and that's what positions you as a professional to communicate that with your customers, and they're going to trust you and say, "Oh man, you know what you're talking about." I feel completely comfortable handing you a ton of money to bring my ideas to life, right? Because in the apparel decorating industry, we are built on trust, and you want your customers to perceive you as a decorating pro, even if you're just getting started. So you just being here right now makes me think that you are dedicated to your business and bettering yourself. So hats off to you right here off the start. So of course, turn times differ if you need something turned quick or can wait a little bit. So you will see production turn times all listed on transferexpress.com. And of course, here at Transfer Express, we ship all of our orders speedy air. So even if you are outside of a 2-day range for, say, UPS ground shipping, we upgrade it to air for no cost to you, right? So it's all included in shipping. We want to ensure no more than 2 days in transit from when it leaves our facility here and arrives at your door. So nice and quick. And just one thing to keep in mind too is just that the production days are business days. So they are Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday are not included on that, but I'll show you in a little bit. In the EasyView Online Designer, it will actually quote you an exact date for when your transfer order will ship. Even when you go into the custom quoting calculator, it's going to show you that on transferexpress.com and make it really easy to not only get an accurate price with no hidden fees, right? No bait and switch. The price you see is the price you pay. If you add an artwork proof, that price is adjusted. And even if you're in the designer adding more colors or adding more art, that it will price accordingly. I love gang sheets where you can put as much art as you want all on one page. And it all ships for the same price. I use those all the time. So when we talk about kind of the calendar of the year for apparel decorators, right, there's a lot of things to consider as we go through, and it's really important to plan accordingly. So that's why you're going to see, we're going to break down, excuse me, we're going to break down all of the different ideas and themes and designs and apparel inspiration here based on months, pretty much when you should be thinking about them, when you should be advertising them to your customer, and kind of thinking that 6 to 8 weeks ahead. So at least 4 weeks ahead, because you want to be able to market it so that somebody goes, oh yeah, that's coming up. I need to place that order, right? And so then you're able to, you have time to market it. You have time to produce the orders before the event, right? So the first one that we're going to cover here coming up is going to be a lot of back to school, right? So you need to be thinking here in the summer months to prep for August or whenever your local school district goes back to school so that you have time to produce those items for your customers going into it. Now, one thing I always like to recommend too with heat printing or apparel decorating in general is that you don't actually have to produce anything anymore. You can mock up designs and show them on social media, whether it be TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, wherever you have found your audience, and you could show those there. You could also do it in email newsletters, or even if a customer is just asking you questions, you could send them proofs via email without producing anything. So you could have these nice, accurate, beautiful images that really bring everything to life. Coming from the design background, I'll be the first person to say that, like, I love a great design, right? But nothing helps somebody connect with it more than seeing their entire idea come to life, mocked up on apparel, where they can envision themselves buying that shirt or wearing that shirt or selling that shirt, whatever it may be. And then that gets them really excited for it. And that's going to help lead a conversion. So that's one thing to really keep in mind, that you could really test these. You don't have to produce anything. And we do have our marketing kit, of course, that does have a ton of samples. And you'll hear me mention it throughout the presentation here today, just to essentially load you up with samples and a lot of these examples that will show for each one of the printing ideas or themes you're going to be able to produce and have. You won't even have to essentially create any designs. We've already made some designs for you to help you sell apparel. So some really cool stuff. And then we'll also talk about your audience. One thing to keep in mind here, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, some of these may be away from your target audience, but be great inspiration to be able to kind of get out there and put some marketing out there to try to go capture the work that you want to get. But if they do cross over in your audience, make sure that you are advertising this appropriately so that you could stay top of mind and relevant with your customers. We want them to think of you as the solution when they go, hey, that idea pops in their head, man, we need custom shirts. And in a lot of cases, I mean, it's kind of crazy to say, but a lot of people operate on last minutes, right? Like if a customer has come to you and said like, oh man, I need these shirts by Saturday, I dropped the ball, could you help me out, right? That's one of the benefits of heat decorating, is that you're able to produce it in a short time frame, but a lot of people aren't thinking about things up front. So if you could get ahead of it and say, you know, that school that always has the orientation back to school event where they have t-shirts for all the incoming freshmen into the high school, right? You know, every year they buy them and it's mid-July now, maybe the end of July, and you're like, guys, they haven't ordered it yet. That's when you need to be able to reach out and say, hey, there's still time to produce these shirts, right? I know you've done them in the past, or at least spur that idea if they're following your newsletter or following you on social media. Definitely something that's going to help you sell more apparel. So, of course, we could talk about selling online. There's craft fairs as well as the pop-up stores as well. And if you're advertising, I'm going to sip some coffee so I stop coughing on you. You could advertise on social media. If you have your own website and the customers are coming to your website, put a little, like banner up top that is very relevant to the current trends, the current season, and what you'll be printing here in 4, 6, 8 weeks. And of course, if you dabble in social media advertising, this is a great way to target your customers or customers that look like you, or target a geographic location. We have some great videos on our YouTube channel that kind of just start to introduce the idea of being successful with those ads, the audience to look for, the targeting, right? So you're not just dumping $50 into an ad that you see zero return on, right? That's not good marketing. We want you to be successful. So we have those tips there on our YouTube channel. And then, of course, advertising in person. If you have a physical brick and mortar shop, or you're going to those craft fairs or festivals or vendor shows in your local community, it's a great way to get in front of customers that way too. There was one customer that I was talking to, and we had her on the Heat Press for Profit podcast a couple weeks ago, Angie Meese, and she was talking to me about printing on site at a state fair. Right? Like, great opportunity. I followed up with her the next year when I saw her at the Impressions Expo in Atlantic City. She was like, well, we didn't really sell a lot there. It wasn't that, we didn't make a lot of profit from the event. It was a lot of time. Selling on site and decorating on site is another big plus to heat printing, but the audience and the traffic just wasn't there for her in the location where they kind of stuck away from the vendor village, right? But the big benefit there is that she was able to show that she was doing custom decorating and made a ton of great contacts that turned into customers later, right? So any way that you could get your name out there, be sure that it says custom apparel decorating or whatever your niche or audience is, so that people will be attracted to you and go, you are my go-to now, instead of just going to Google and typing in custom t-shirts. They're going to think of you, bounce ideas off you, and your professional opinions are going to help them out. And then it's going to form a relationship. And then it's not just a customer. I like to call that a client, right? One that you're going to build a relationship that's going to be steady income year after year after year, or like a school, season after season after season. And then you don't need to spend a whole bunch of time on marketing when you have a great stable of customers that are thrilled to work with you and you love working with them. All right, that is welcome to. Thanks for attending my TED Talk today, and we'll jump right into it. But yes, full of all of these tips and success just to help you out. So let's jump here right into July. I've teased all of these ideas enough, so let's get into some of this inspiration right here. Like I mentioned, back to school is going to be a big aspect here moving into July. So you're going to be looking for regular spirit wear, those orientation shirts, right? If you have any local schools that use school uniforms, a lot of times those are produced locally, whether they're embroidered or printed, and even like gym uniforms, right? So the shorts and shirts that might be provided to students, team uniforms, right? The class of the seniors, 2025 now, right? We just cleared out our class of 2024. And then, of course, looking into fall sports and athletics, those are not necessarily for every decorator out there, but they are incredibly profitable return business. Any of those athletics and local school districts that you could be really helping out with a myriad of solutions, right? Not just apparel, the warm-up gear, the bags, the backpacks, all that stuff coming in. So we're going to cover all that, and I'll show you some of that. Now, one thing I do want to call out that we put as a tip right here on this slide are those retail-ready tags that are on the inside of this apparel. So look how retail these shirts look. You would find these on the shelves at the mall, or who goes to the mall anymore? Target, or any of those stores. The retail look that you are used to seeing out there, you could give to even a local school district, right? Which really helps elevate the apparel, and it's a nice little add-on service that you could suggest and print that a lot of other printers aren't even going to talk about. Even when we talk about those placements, this placement here, that's not a pocket that was sewn on after the print. It was just lined up and printed. So you have that nice stripe that goes down to the pocket with that Wagstaff Wolves logo on that for a great piece of unique spirit wear, and you could adapt to these trends quickly. A great way to do it. So also too, fall being the busiest season we see for so many apparel decorators. So, and just as general spirit wear, these examples that we're seeing right here are really, there's a lot of them included in that marketing kit. And I saw Jim was already asking about it. So I had one. I was going to pull these out a little bit later, but essentially the marketing kit does come with a whole bunch of actual transfers, right? So here, if you could see these inside tag prints that you could showcase as a solution for your customers. So if you're meeting them in person to say like, hey, look, yeah, we've done this before. We've done all of your marketing for you. So it looks like you've been in business for 10, 15 years as opposed to just starting out. So it really helps you sell all of that custom apparel. So here we just see for like Central Valley High School, right? The Central Valley Eagles. This is all backwards probably for you. But this is the custom screen printed transfer that you get that is actually on the cover of the idea book. So this is in the marketing kit as well. So this Central Valley, just regular spirit wear, and your business name is customized right here. But you get these samples that you could show. So this is the real print so that you could print this same shirt and bring it. Your customers could touch and feel the quality. And that's building that trust with you, positioning you as a pro and helping you sell. So just regular spirit wear, even let's say local community pride, right? If it's going into that back to school season, everybody's fired up and you want to look good for that football season, right? I know around here in Ohio and definitely down in Central Texas, right? Football is huge, right? And everybody needs that spirit wear. And there's not national printers printing for that. Fanatics and the NFL shop don't have those on an online store, but you could provide your customers with that opportunity to sell on site or even sell on an online store. So really great stuff. Sonia says, so you're saying we could have custom tags inside the shirt? Yeah. Absolutely. Heat transfer printing is incredibly easy to be able to do that. And there's even some accessories like the tag along platen that's available for Hotronix presses that I think Mike may have linked yeah, linked the video in there where you could actually see, you could print the front of a shirt and a tag at the same time. So it's the same press. I don't have one here to show you, but I usually do. There's usually a heat press like right here in my office that I absolutely love to use, that tag along platinum. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's keep rolling into July, right? So kind of talking a little bit more about being able to position things and sell online, just like this school spirit wear flyer that we see right here. And of course, the digital assets that are included as part of this marketing kit. This book and those transfers is just a small part of it, because when I talk about doing these mock-ups, right? Just this mock-up that should be right here next to my head is a blank mock-up that you could load into the designer and just place your own design on top of to show to your customers, right? Or post on social media to see if there's any interest in buying it, if you want to take pre-sales, or be able to produce on demand. So all you do is make a mock-up, put it up on an online store, and only take the shirt and the transfer and print them when the order comes in. So you could use that same shirt. If that certain design doesn't sell, you're not sitting on a whole bunch of bulk inventory that's going to be financial risk for you, right? You're going to stay profitable. You're going to stay nice and lean. So utilizing these mock-ups. But there's a whole digital collection in there of flat lay t-shirts, these stylized shots, and even those flyers like for school spirit wear, right? So you could take these and essentially pitch that to your local school district, mock up 6 different designs and go, hey, which one do you like, right? Or maybe they want to use this because they love those 6 designs and want to give all of the students and staff and teachers and parents all of a choice that you already have a pre-made flyer. So I'll show you kind of what this looks like as part of that marketing kit, just real quick. And then I promise we're going to get back into more of this inspiration to take a peek at. So essentially, this is the digital marketing kit portal that you get with the marketing kit. You see the digital idea book, which is that book that I have. Of course, all of these stock and staged apparel mock-ups. One of my favorite things, though, is because we've already mentioned like the school spirit wear and stuff, is that you have these flyer templates all down here. Here's that school spirit wear that we were just looking at with some examples on it. But here, so like social media promo assets, we're talking about being able to showcase this stuff for your customers, right? So we see all of these are updated seasonally. So we see some summer seasonal ones in here. Man, I was just in Oregon and I went looking for a Bigfoot and I did not find one. But in here you could see that Central Valley one that we were just looking at, right? This is actually a vertical reel video. So that you could take this and say, hey, get your spirit wear orders in right now. You could do those Instagram reels and TikToks that kind of scare off a lot of decorators because of the time investment into building that marketing. Instagram and social media, Facebook, TikTok are huge marketing opportunities for all decorators now these days. And it doesn't have to be scary. The work here is done for you. Even if you want to get into, say, doing these, like some sports uniforms, right? Here's a video you could download, put your own information on it and say, hey, now printing for fall sports. There's a hockey jersey in here too. And then of course, just regular images, regardless of what it is. Here's that same, you're going to get the transfer. It's on the guide for all of the ideas and everything. And you get the digital download that you could instantly post this to Instagram right now and say, spirit wear season is hot. Make sure you get your orders in now, right? To get them all ready to go. Those senior shirts, right? Hey, do you want to put the entire class of 2024 or 2025 here? You could see examples that you could show your customers. You'll also get this exact transfer to print so that you could show them the look and feel in person as well, right? All the way from the Halloween stuff that we're going to mention. So you see a whole bunch of this stuff is already here done for you. And we will be talking about, breast cancer month is October. And so showing off the capabilities of what you could do prior to the actual month is going to help you stay ahead and service your customers and get them some really great custom apparel. So let's go back to our slides. That's just a little sidetrack there. And we'll get back into our slides to get really, really all set with this lookbook as we go forward. But love, love, love that digital asset kit. Helpful for so many different decorators. Really, really selling apparel online without that huge time investment into realistically, creating all of that content. And I know so many decorators kind of get spooked and oh man, I just don't have time. I don't have time to be decorating, or I don't have time to be filming, right? And usually a lot of the stuff that I see really successful is people being authentic. So enough about social media tips. We have a whole video on our YouTube channel that's going to detail a lot of tips and tricks that you could use to bolster your marketing on social media. So cool. So I see Stacy just ordered my kit 2 days ago. So use those digital downloads in there when you get it in there. So let's keep moving, and we're going to look at some of the back to school things that we could be using. So whether it's those physical education shirts, athletic departments, the school uniforms, and definitely stuff for the classroom. Of course, the polos and t-shirts sometimes that are, depending on the district, you have to wear a uniform. And those are a great opportunity to get because they are typically enormous orders. So the cost to produce them is quite low when you're buying at that bulk of a quantity, and you're kind of selling them individually to each parent or student, which is really, really great. Even if you're just supplying it as a huge wholesale order to the school, really, really lucrative and profit packed all right in there, right? So here's some great ideas for just some simple school uniforms, whether they be polyester or that polo all the way over on the side, as well as physical education, shorts and t-shirts. The one great thing I want to call out, and I think it was on one of those slides that we just passed, was that on the screen printed transfers, you could actually Sharpie on an area, just like where there's that white box, that you could use a Sharpie to write somebody's name, and that will stay during the wash. It's not going to wash off on that screen print ink. And then, of course, just like we see right above me is the a nice kind of classic school look elevated by a long sleeve print, right? So the sleeve prints are typically specialty locations that a lot of printers will charge a ton of money to set up and do if it's outside just the standard front or back, right? So something like that really could elevate the style, and just showing your customers it's possible could spur a ton of ideas, right? They're not just looking, oh yeah, we just need a left chest, right? And if you just show left chest, then that's going to think that's all the capabilities of what you could do. Of course, if you show these other ones, the polos, like, yes, of course we could print that stuff. But showing some of those out of the box ideas could really help ignite some of those great ideas from your customers as well. Just want to make sure I didn't have two slides of the same thing in here. Of course, with Welcome Back, it is not just apparel, kind of like we talked about earlier, and we saw even some long sleeves or being able to decorate on hoodies. But one great thing that we see all the time, and I'm sure you see just scrolling around on social media come late August or September, is the back to school photos with kids, right? So being able to produce these, say it's, you know, the Goldwood School District, right? They're going to be going through Goldwood their entire life, or at least till 12th grade, right? Which I remember when I was in high school, that was like, oh my God, so long. But here, like fun little cute ideas where you put the kid in the same exact t-shirt that they grow into, and then you have this timeline of all of these great memories of the first day of school, or like in this case, like a handprint, right? So by the time they're in 12th grade and wear this on the first day of their senior year, you could see the progress. The parents love it. They're great ideas. Anything you could tie to like emotion, right? Or those memories, right? I know I'm a dad, and I love looking back at photos of my daughter, Eva. She's 6 now, but it feels like it was yesterday that she was born, right? Everything happened so fast. I'm sure any parents out there watching right now are like, yeah, it totally does, right? So being able to capture some of those memories and really hit those emotions of your customers helps convert sales. But they don't know you're doing it. They don't know they're available unless you are showcasing it. And you got to be showcasing it now because they want to have it for that first day of school, right? So you need to make sure that you're working ahead of schedule. Here also too, a fun thing that we just did, I think it's on this side because I'm reversed, that the flags, right? These garden flags, whether they are just for regular school districts or it's Calvin's first day of the 2nd grade, that you could put it out there as a little flag you could stand next to. These are, I don't even want to say how cheap they are on Amazon, right? Super, super inexpensive, made of polyester that almost every single heat transfer type sticks to. And with, say, direct to film transfers just like this, you can produce just one, customized with a kid's name or the grade that they're going in, or sell the entire pack all up front to the customer, right? So, you know, it's first day of third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, all with Calvin. So that is all ready to go every single year that Calvin, I'm just going to say this kid right here is Calvin, is going to school, right? So a great opportunity to sell to your local community, be an add-on sale, especially if you already are decorating for a school district. Any of these little things that you could add on, profit opportunities for you, and really help you bring more business into your shop. So really, really cool, great stuff. Here, of course, the senior gear, back to school seniors 2025 for Kirtland High School. This is layout QCO 126, and you'll see a whole bunch of these random number codes, even right here on the images next to me. These all correspond to the EasyView Online Designer. When I'm talking about being able to design without being a designer, you could easily just click and customize any of these. In fact, that Compton Eagles High School with the eagle underneath, I think was that shirt that was the Wagstaff Wolves, right? So it was just swapped out. And I'll show you here if we have time at the end to show you how you could customize too. But we have tons of education on EasyView Online Designer, which is our free, easy to use online designer at transferexpress.com that really empowers anybody to be a graphic designer. And we add new artwork every single week into that. So you can see some new trending ones right now, that Wolverines with the checkered board. Checkered board is everywhere in t-shirt prints or any graphic design these days, but specifically on t-shirts, we see it a ton. So we're adding new relevant artwork. So you don't have to go researching on Pinterest for 6 hours to try to find some ideas. We have a team that essentially that is their full-time job, is researching what's trending on Etsy and at schools and at Target and Walmart and in the mall and all of these shops to build similar aesthetics that you could take advantage of with your business. Doug asks, is there a way to import all of the names of a graduating class? Absolutely, there is. And so if you go to the team builder, you could import those in, as well as there is a TXT field where you could drop in a TXT or I believe even a CSV file that you could drop in and have that done. Now, all of the screen printed transfers at Transfer Express, if you're designing it in the EasyView Online Designer and something's not working out, all art fees are included with those screen print transfers. So something like that, you could say, I want this layout, right? Because there's tons of layouts that have all of the student names on them. And then just send the file over to us and our artist will lay it out for you for no cost, right? All of the cost will be included in the price of your custom transfers. So all of these layouts here kind of correspond to the signature shirts or the class of shirts or just that back to school, just general kind of mascot look. So tons of those, and we'll go and customize one here in just a minute. So yeah, great ideas, but you got to get on them now as we go forward. And if you see any designs that you really like, just ask us for that code, because then you can easily just search it in the EasyView Online Designer and be able to pull that in. So really great stuff that you could use there. Here we see more back to school stuff, so much more than just t-shirts, right? And look at that personalization on that volleyball hoodie, right? So we do the volleyball print, but mom wants one too and wants her daughter's name or daughter's number on the back, right? That school pride. Everybody wants that gear. And we even see like replica jerseys become really popular these days too, right? With the student's number on it. And then it'll say mom or dad or grandpa or brother or sister or whatever for the back name, right? So that's something that you could do with a heat press printing on that pocket area. And doesn't that just look premium and pro? And if you could suggest that stuff to your customers, they're more likely to convert on it. Of course, just school supplies like pencil pouches, as they have to be personalized, lunch boxes, right? If you want some school pride or area for a kid to put a name on it. I've made my daughter a custom lunchbox from back when she was in even like daycare, right? You had to name everything, and I'm not just putting a Sharpie on it. Come on, right? I work in the apparel decorating industry. We're going to make some cool stuff. So being able to make cool stuff, even like backpacks that we see right here, is all in the power of your hands as a decorator and really building that revenue opportunities. Of course, we talked about it before, but fall sports. So here in Ohio, fall sports do typically start right there in August, right when school goes back. And that may vary based on your state or your school district. But of course, the biggest one, even year round, is football. So a great thing to get on, even cheer. being a huge market, especially for specialty effects when we look at glitter or any of those like metallic prints that kind of sparkle. A great opportunity there. Soccer is growing and becoming an increasingly popular sport at the major league level, which is even driving down to the community sports. But I know here in Ohio, like soccer has always been huge for youth sports and community leagues. Volleyball, depending on your area, cross country and golf are some of the biggest here in our area. But you'll know best for your specific area and know when they start. So some schools start early. Some wait a little bit later to get that all kicked off. So adjust your promotional schedule accordingly. Always try to stay that, I want to say 6 to 8 weeks. Sometimes you could chance it by getting as close as 4 weeks, but you really want to be, have more than enough time than be up against a wall trying to get things done by a deadline. Your customers are always going to ask for things at the last minute, though. So as much as we could prepare, sometimes it doesn't always happen, right? So one tip to try to get this business, if you're looking to get into the school sports market, look at those local community leagues. It's great if you already know somebody running those leagues or a parent or a family, a neighbor, somebody who is already involved in those leagues. That gets you that foot in the door. Of course, you could use the school's website to find out about the athletic department. Sometimes it's the booster club that makes these purchases. So either becoming a member of the booster club, donating to the booster club is a great way to get your foot in the door and introduce yourself. Or, of course, even in like general school settings, attend a PTA meeting, right? Typically, they are open even to the community. If you don't have, if you're not the parent of a child who goes to that school, they love community input and being able to show up and represent your community. And you're saying, hey, I'm here because I'm dedicated to my community. Oh, I heard that you guys need, some uniforms for the soccer team. I could help out with that. I'm a Chamber of Commerce member here locally, whatever it may be, right? That's how you start to make those connections. And then bam, that's when you start closing those sales. Of course, tip 2 here, I already kind of spoiled talking about replica jerseys, selling to parents, siblings, grandparents, or significant others. A great profit opportunity. And there's one on transferexpress.com that's made by Sport Tech in the wholesale apparel section that is a really great like polyester jersey, incredibly affordable and great to print on, right? So love the way it looks. So here's just some examples of some heat applied products for fall sports. We see, of course, even basketball and volleyball. We're gonna touch on that in a little bit for the more kind of winter sports, right? But we see football jerseys, right? That's a mesh jersey from Russell Athletic. That's a really, really kind of higher end one, the nice fitted and stretchy, but using a heat transfer type here, like Elastaprints, gives you that screen printed durability in a 2-color print that's white and gold to meet the team colors on a purple jersey. It's going to be durable for that commercial laundering and the contact it's going to have on the field, right? So choosing the right transfer type for the right product. And of course, we talk about fall sports and uniforms. Marching band isn't necessarily a fall sport, but a humongous market from the band camps that happen, the retreats, the school trips, right? If they're going to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, or I know my school, the marching band would always go play a national bowl game. So there would be a trip and they'd be doing apparel for it, not just the apparel that they're going to wear, sometimes those are very complicated suits that they're wearing on field, but these polos for the band, right, are a great opportunity if you already are decorating for any fall sports. And here, just by me, there is some jerseys as well, utilizing Elastaprints. So again, breaking down to what fabric type you're printing on, 100% polyester, need it to be super durable. Elastaprints is going to be your best bet to jump on, right? That's great. I want to check this chat here a little bit. We are flying through this stuff, and I want to make sure it looks like audio was lost, but came right back on. That's great to hear. Can you do a horizontal layout like the yellow shirt? Larry asks, and absolutely, yes, you can. Shirley asks if we do training classes for newbies. So Shirley, this is kind of a training class for newbies, but we have a huge series of just getting started. And Easy View Education, all right on our Transfer Express YouTube page. So if you aren't already subscribed, head on over there and just click around on the channel. A ton of education from getting started to marketing tips, to profit potential tips. Even we just recently did a great video, and it's kind of fun. I had way too much fun with it. where we essentially walk through the entire process from somebody saying, hey man, do you print t-shirts, to printing a t-shirt and delivering it to a customer. So like the entire scenario and how I've seen decorators handle it from a small kind of home-based business level, even to the way that like the commercial shops that I've worked at who are doing millions and millions of dollars of printing a year, how they handle it, right? And one of the common things is getting paid up front. That's how you're going to make money. So go back and watch that video. It's just a couple weeks old now at this point. We had a lot of fun with it. It's fun to watch. You get to see me be my own imaginary friend as a customer point of view. So it's really great. We talk about creating artwork. And one thing I want to talk about here for doing definitely the class or not class, but the fall sports is the team builder functionality here in EasyView Online Designer. So like you could see in that screenshot up top, excuse me, let me get some more coffee. In that team builder shop up top, all you have to do is type in a name, comma, number, and it's going to pretty much make the layout variable, right? So you could say, I need Eagles because it's going to go on the front of the jersey. Adams and 13 is going to go on the back. And you're able to order direct-to-film prints, all ready to go, all ready to print. And you could see the preview of every single one of them before you order. You could even get away with great textures and patterns, just like this tie-dye pattern for like a softball team, right? Where you just name and number. And if anybody out there say I've decorated for sports, right? And put your hand up. I know I've done just last year. I was doing a whole bunch of Special Olympics jerseys, right? For the school that my wife works for, right? Tons of different jerseys. And sometimes it gets confusing. And sometimes you're supposed to do a 13 because you already did 31 and you accidentally print a 31. So this is a great way to reduce a lot of those mistakes that I've personally made in the past for stress-free ordering, stress-free, frustration-free printing. Everything is already pre-aligned, so you just pop it down and print. It's nice, efficient, and easy to be able to print. And yes, no more mistakes, not having to run and be like, oh no, that was my last 3. Somebody's getting a different number because they need these jerseys tomorrow, right? So yes, we want to help you avoid that. So Team Builder is incredibly easy and intuitive to use, just like everything else in the EasyView Online Designer. Names, numbers, even if I wanted to put a little mascot that's going to go on a left chest for that jersey, whatever it may be, you could essentially order the entire artwork for a player all in one go by just uploading the roster list, and you're set and done. It's going to give you accurate pricing right when you order, accurate turn times, and you'll be able to click through a preview of every single one of them to ensure that you're not missing anybody. You could also save them. So if they add somebody to the team 2 days later, okay, cool. I could just go ahead and pull the template up and add a new name and order one new name. So really, really great. And with DTF, you have the ability to print one-offs, so you don't have to buy any quantity of them. You could buy one of just each, and you have the ability to do full color prints of this highly detailed artwork, just like that tie-dye pattern, making it so super easy and simple to be able to use and print. So we talked about fall sports add-ons, or we talked about fall sports. Let's talk about some of those add-ons. Jolene says, been there, done that. Yep. Knows exactly how it is. Nilda says cut and 8. Yes. 8s, 5s and 2s are pretty much the same exact thing, right? So sometimes they could get upside down on you. Same with 6s and 9s. Oops. Yes, I've made those mistakes. Before. So add-ons for fall sports too. So the football team's going to have their uniforms that they wear on field. They're also going to have the warm-up gear and the locker room gear, right, that they could work out in. So now you have t-shirts and sweatpants, compression fit gear, just like this. I know when I played football, one of my least favorite things to do was the 2-a-day practices in the July heat. Wow, that was just awful, right? And the only thing that made it better was some nice performance wear moisture wicking shirts that helped keep us cool. You could print on them with heat transfers, right? You don't have to worry about some of the struggles with traditional printing methods. You use the right transfer type that's going to stretch and rebound, like this DTF. Like, man, look at that print. No cracking, no nothing, no stress, right? So it could move and flex with those garments, right? Super, super important there. And of course, just regular spirit wear or the gym bag that's right here above my head. anything that you could add on to those sales. Hey, do you guys have the locker room gear? For the Spirit Days on Fridays before the games, does your do the players have something to wear? Oh, they don't? Okay, cool. Hey, you guys selling Spirit wear at the event? There's all of these questions that you could ask that add on to these sales. We're out of July now. Let's start moving into August, and we'll pick up the pace here a little bit. I know I value your time, but I'm here to help. So if you guys have questions, please let us know, and we keep going, right? So schools, clubs, organizations, of course, you could go for the advisor or the teacher. And it's often a lot easier to get these specific clubs than having to go get the entire approval of the principal or the vice principal or whoever's ordering for the entire school, athletic directors, right? Go to an individual who has a lot less red tape to kind of cut through to be able to set you up as a vendor or place a purchase order or even get a credit card or a check cut to you, right? So going to these individual advisors, the clubs, and if you're a parent and your students are already a part of them, that is a humongous foot in the door. Send them out to be a salesperson and an advocate for your business, right? Nobody loves custom apparel more than kids who want to feel like they belong as part of a club, right? Everybody, there's a custom shirt for every single use. And I say typically the average person about every 3 years, whether it be a family reunion or a vacation or a company picnic, or they own a landscaping company on the side. About once every 3 years, every single person is going to have a need for a shirt. And these clubs and organizations are a great example of that, right? We talked about bands and choirs. Of course, the Science Olympics, robotics clubs becoming incredibly popular now with like STEM clubs and even like Model UN or those student councils, the mock governments and stuff like that. All of those clubs. I know, even growing up, my middle school ski club, part of the thing was you got a t-shirt, which was, I think, mainly for the advisors to just make sure that all the kids were counted on the bus. And they could color code us in the lodge when we had our jackets off, right? But all that stuff, great ideas. And here's some more examples. Even if I hide my little face right here, you could see some of these examples for band. So all of these are categorized in the EasyView Online Designer that make it really easy to be able to go in there and find the things that you need. So that's just one thing in August. As we go through here in August as well, start looking for fall events. So you're going to be looking for September, middle of September and beyond into the fall. So you're going to start to see harvest festivals popping up, of course, like the apple picking stuff, marathons, fundraising runs, those 5Ks, the Relay for Life usually hit after the summer heat kind of dissipates and they could get more people set up. But just like this for a cross-country event or a 5K run, again, on polyester performance wear, moisture wicking, and fits the need for your audience in there. Shirley asks, when placing my first order and I run across something I don't quite understand, is there a 1-800 number that you could call for assistance? And absolutely there is a 1-800 number you could call for assistance. Mike's going to go ahead and drop a link in there to the actual phone number. But if you have your pen ready, it's 1-800-622-2280. Ah, Mike beat me to it, man. But yeah, right there, that's the phone number that you can reach us at anytime that we get into that. So things to keep in mind here as we go into August. Now, I mentioned sports becoming a huge player in here in football season. So tailgating, right? Tailgating, the rally towels, the bleacher seats, coolers, can coolers, right? You see all of this decorated with a whole bunch of heat applied products. In that video that I mentioned too, that was like the entire process of selling a wholesale t-shirt order from start, that initial contact to finished and delivered. One thing that I threw in the box to kind of help me get more feature sales was just a little koozie. I was able to fit the design on the gang sheet. So a gang sheet is essentially an entire page of artwork, very similar to what we see here, right? It's, of course, white ink, so it's probably a little bit harder to see there. You might be able to see it better. So all of this artwork, all on the same page, ships for the same cost. So like we have a little design here that we were able to throw on here that we could easily print on a koozie, which is a nice little add-on for a customer. And if you throw one in the box and they're like, man, this is great. I had people asking if I could get more. Could you print more of these? Absolutely. And now you already have all the designs already printed on a transfer carrier that you cut off, and now you could put those as an add-on sale. But But coolers, huge for tailgating and especially these smaller events. Even summer events are a great thing, as festivals and stuff allow coolers. If you could bring them in, bring them in. Rally towels for those local school districts, something that maybe their printer is going to be like, nah, we don't really do it, or they're going to charge a lot for it. But with heat transfers, you could cut that cost and really sell these that's still profitable for you and in your customer's budget as that add-on product. Also, having printed thousands of rally towels at old print shops that I worked at, heat transfers are definitely the way to go, because as soon as you kind of change the flocking of that towel, a regular screen print is almost completely unreadable, where a heat transfer kind of mats it down and maintains the integrity of that image until you throw the towel out, even with all the waving around. But here in Cleveland, we don't talk about the yellow towels that we see in professional sports, right? For those folks in Pittsburgh, if anybody from Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania is watching, I apologize. Thomas asks, what's the gang sheet size? So this gang sheet here is our standard screen print gang sheet size. This is 11.25 inch by 14 inches. We also have a jumbo at 12.5 by 18 inches, right? I just want to confirm that. I use the jumbo all the time. Yeah, 12.5 by 17.5 inches for the jumbo size. So two different sizes. And then for our full color transfers, they are 12 by 18 as well. So you have a few different options for your gang sheets. But great things here to sell for that football market. Now, of course, just general fall themes. Fall is my favorite season and is huge for apparel decorators, especially as we start moving into that cozy gear. The Hello Fall stuff like this, you'll see pop up all over Etsy if you are running your own brand, right? So fall theme shirts, Oktoberfests are a big event that happens in September, not October, even though it's called Oktoberfest. Harvest festivals, apple picking, the clam bakes, oyster festivals, pumpkin picking at pumpkin patches, and of course, a lot of local breweries have a tendency to do festivals or events or release beers and do these huge kind of productions that are great opportunities for custom printed apparel. Here's some more fall designs coming from the EasyView Online Designer. This fall festival one, the QEV 207 we see here right in the middle, will be one that we'll see in one of our examples here just coming up on, boom, this slide, right? So, of course, turn into this Eagleton Harvest Festival, just how easy it is to click and customize and change the colors or swap out clip art. The Pottsfield one up top is one that I know is a layout that we have that has like it's a very like farm kind of vibe, like I think it's for a farmer's market originally, but here we can just change it for a pumpkin festival. Swap the weather vane kind of chicken, that's the rooster that's in the middle of that design normally as the template, as that layout, and we're able to switch it to a pumpkin, right? How easy is that? And of course, Oktoberfest, utilizing all of the 10,000 plus customizable pieces of clip art and layouts that are available in the EasyView Online Designer. And color code them, throw them in the background, and bam, you've got yourself a professionally designed image in minutes, not hours of slaving away in Photoshop or Illustrator. And I will say, I love my Photoshop and Illustrator, right? Went to school how to use them. But 9 times out of 10, especially with a customer request of like, we just want some Oktoberfest kind of vibes, some imagery, pretzels, and a beer stein, and just want Oktoberfest to say it over top. It would take me 5 minutes to just, at best, to just find a font I would want to use in Illustrator versus just going to the designer or thumbing through the idea book that's part of the marketing kit, right? Because you could see all of these ideas in here. It's just pages and pages, the most popular layouts. So you could see all of these different layouts, very similar to how I've just included them in here. And they're all color-coded on the side. So here we just open to the school section, right? But there are events that I could find in here and be able to pull those up and just get a good idea, go to that layout and just immediately start customizing, right? Maybe even that Harvest Festival one to kind of give it that nice vibe with the rope around it and the circle, and then just swap that corn and pumpkin out for the beer stein, right? So super easy and able to get those ideas together where you could get 6, 7, 8 ideas together in 10 minutes to send to your customer to go, hey, which one do you want, right? And you could offer that as a service for your customers for free or charge a very small amount for it, which is going to immediately set you apart from so many other decorators out there that are going to go, oh, you don't have a print ready file? No, get out of here. Come back with a print ready file. I don't do design, right? this empowers you to be able to service your customers a little bit better than those other shops that might even be in your area. Moving into to September, of course, Breast Cancer Awareness Month is October. Tons of charities and events and organizations that take advantage of that, and it's always for a good cause. And partnering with some of those local charities in your area could help, again, expand your reach to even more customers as well. So it's great things to get involved with. But from schools doing it to local businesses, sports, and of course, those community walks or charity organizations that do it, that it's really able to really hit that market and you're able to do it. And one of those things, like I talked about, one of the samples in the idea book, once that exposure changes on the camera, it is an example that is generic enough that you could use for an example to sell to your customers, right? Stuff that you've done in the past. Now, this is one of our goof-proof screen printed transfers. So you're able to see just what that screen printed quality is. And this is how it comes on the carrier. Again, maybe some koozie prints. These are a little large for a koozie, but a left chest and a back, or a few different variations. So when we're talking about the print cost of this sheet, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if this was, say, $3 a sheet at whatever quantity we're ordering, we have 6 prints on here. That's 50 cents a print out the door, right? How cool is that? But with the marketing kit, you do get this exact transfer so that you could be producing these examples to show your customers. Photograph it, put them on tote bags, whatever it may be. That one is part of the marketing kit in there, which I think Mike already put a link to. But Mike, if you want to throw another link in there just to be easy to find, because you can go to transferexpress.com, but Mike has a link right there. Of course, as we're in September, somebody's favorite holiday. It's not mine. I know, but a lot of people love Halloween, and it's a great opportunity to introduce some specialty effects, the glow-in-the-dark transfers being one of them, which, surprise, surprise, I think you get a glow-in-the-dark transfer. I know you do. I don't know if I grabbed it. Of course, I didn't grab one, but you will get one with the marketing kit where you will get a glow-in-the-dark transfer. I know that because it's right here, right? This is what comes in the marketing kit that shows you all of the different transfer types that I've been holding up right here. Hey, look, that Warrior one that I was just holding up. But this one right here, the Halloween, is a glow-in-the-dark transfer that you're able to use to see and show your customers that glow-in-the-dark capabilities. So you could throw that one right on there. But of course, it's spooky season. Creeping It Real is another one. Tote bags, right? For local community events, the trunk or treats, especially when it's like a lot of people, I know here at Transfer Express, we do it every single year. We invite all of our friends and families into the parking lot for a nice, safe, fun trick-or-treating adventure, right? And of course, there are sponsors that help us out, the local businesses in our area, and a lot of them are just like machine shops that cut metal, but it's an industrial area, right? Screen printing is an industrial thing that we do here, but they will pitch in with us, and we will do a whole trick-or-treat event where, as you could see again, kids could customize theirs by writing with Sharpie on the transfer. And then on the flip side, you'll see some corporate sponsors, Transfer Express stalls, and some local businesses that are out by us as well. So there's most likely stuff like that in your community. I love those events, number one, because they typically are not on Halloween. So it's boom, more candy for me, right? I'm talking like I'm the one going trick-or-treating. No, it's the dad tax, right? When you have to check all the Halloween candy. Right? But stuff like that is such a great opportunity for your local community. There are schools that take part in that, local businesses, and even malls. One of the local malls here does a trunk or treat event. And I don't know if they do custom tote bags, but if they had a custom decorator approach them and say like, hey, wouldn't that be cool to have everybody remember the event with a custom tote bag that they could take around to trick or treat? Wouldn't that be great? Yes, it sure would. Now, one thing too, right over here, a lot of people don't take this into consideration, and I did not either until one of the print shops that I worked at, but the haunted house industry, right? There's probably a couple haunted houses by you. I know here in the Midwest, it's like the haunted house capital of the world, that I think there's like 200 or 300 haunted houses just in Ohio, and not like the really haunted ones, but like the attractions, right? Like go visit them during Halloween. There's a ton of them here in the state. And it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They love custom apparel. I got scared at the nightmare at the fair or whatever, right? People love souvenirs for a memento or event to remember that memory, right? And so a lot of these haunted houses are purchasing custom apparel. And if you could get one in your local community, maybe one that you know people that work for it, and with how short of a time span they are nice, quick, and seasonal, a humongous market for custom printed apparel. I'm going to remove my little head so that I'm not covering up the Witch Fest Beer Fest. But again, like I was talking about, those breweries that happen, right? Be able to print for them, and it's a big difference in that, right? So you could do the koozies. It looks like there's a towel in this as well as a t-shirt. So all of these different items that you could put on. So it's not just t-shirts, and hoodies, right? A ton of different items that you could supply as a custom apparel decorator. Now, of course, when we hit October, the end of September, we start looking at Veterans Day. There's a lot of community events and organizations to honor those who have served and, made sacrifices to protect our freedoms. And that's something that I could always get behind, right? And it's something that a lot of people purchase custom apparel for as well. Here we have two versions of flags, size to sleeves, and you may see this all the time, and I know it's a common question that I get when I'm at trade shows or talking to new decorators. Why is the flag backwards, right? Per the brand guidelines of the United States government and the usage of the United States flag, when appearing on the right shoulder, right, you'll see this on military uniforms, EMS, police, fire departments. If there's an American flag and it's typically worn on the right shoulder, that it should look like it's charging into battle. So that's part of like the brand guidelines of using the flag. So if you're using it on your left sleeve, it's going to be a regular flag with the stars facing forward, right? So facing the front of me. Where it's on the right sleeve, you're going to have the stars facing forward, like it's charging into battle. Easy way to always remember it, but that's why you have two versions of the flag. At Transfer Express, we have stock packs of flags that are ridiculously inexpensive for a 3-color screen print, right? And they're sized perfectly for sleeves on athletic uniforms, or even like the upper back you see sometimes on jerseys, those travel baseball jerseys that typically have the nationality up there on them. Perfectly sized for it and incredibly affordable. I want to say they're 25 cents or like a piece when you buy them in like the 25 pack, right? Super affordable. Don't quote me on that exact price, but they're definitely something to keep in mind when you are doing any flags for any event. But a great way, great thing to bring them up for is the Veterans Day. So yeah, Nilda did not know that. We learn something new every day, right? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to teach you the little ins and outs and all the fun stories that go with apparel decorating as well. Now, as we start looking into October, of course, you have to start looking at Thanksgiving, and there's parades and turkey trots and fun shirts. Here, right by my head, is for a kitchen that serves those who maybe don't have a Thanksgiving dinner, right? So being able to give back, give thanks is a huge part of any community and neighborhood, and a great opportunity for printing. Hey, look, you could do an apron and a t-shirt for the volunteers that are volunteering for that event. Of course, if it is also for baby bibs up there on there, or the football games, right? So whether it's the turkey bowl or whatnot, I'm just here for the turkey legs and the TV, right? I know that's most of the Thanksgivings that I have. I try to get out of just all the responsibilities, just eating turkey, right? But here, there are tons of opportunities for printing for any holiday, and don't write off Thanksgiving as one of them. Like I mentioned too, your local high school might be going to march in a Thanksgiving Day parade, and that marching band might need apparel for that specific event, right? They love to have memories, mementos from certain events or occasions, right? So a great opportunity there for October looking into November. Now, of course, as the weather starts to shift, hopefully you live in an area where the weather doesn't shift too bad, or it just starts becoming mild and enjoyable. In Ohio, it snaps to cold real quick, looking at the end of October into November. So looking at blankets, right? Maybe those same school districts that you were printing for when you're doing t-shirts in the summer, now it's start time to showing off the hoodies, the beanies, right? The outerwear, the jackets. Great opportunities for that, as well as any local trades, construction companies, right, that need that outerwear. And we actually, I think, have one of the construction companies as an example as one of these samples with the marketing kit too. Maybe we do. Nope, maybe we don't. I didn't grab one. I sure didn't grab one. Nope. I thought I had grabbed one, but here, let's see what we got on our sheet. We did have one. We had one somewhere. Nope, maybe we don't. But I know that, oh, there we go. Blackburn Tree Services, right? I knew we had one. So as tree trimming, I know here in Ohio that you really shouldn't do any tree work during the summer because it could actually hurt the trees. Look at that. You learned even more outside of printing today. But so those tree trimming companies are in full force come the fall where it starts to get cold, whether it be hoodies or jackets or hats, even high visibility stuff, right? For snow removal, things to keep in mind as you do. Yeah. Teens wear hoodies year round. Yes, they sure do. Don't know how they sweat. They don't sweat in them, or like beanies. It was just 90 degrees here a couple days ago, and there's kids walking around with beanies on. Isn't your head hot? I go for comfort, right? I don't know. They want to be stylish. I get it. It's okay. I'm not here to judge. As long as you're not, as long as you're staying hydrated, right? Was that like the most dad thing I could ever say? And of course, when we get in November, start looking into the winter sports, just like we looked into the summer sports, basketball, hockey, wrestling, swimming, diving, gymnastics, just to name a few. And then, of course, as we move even further through the year, then it's like January, you start looking at the spring sports again. But whatever school or whatever sports your school is participating in, be sure that you could try to take advice of that. I saw, I think somebody was commenting about working with schools just a little bit ago. That they go through a specific portal with a whole bunch of red tape. School districts go through the portal, so it made things more difficult. So yes, it definitely does. There are solutions that you could offer to stand up online stores for your customers, and then that's the portal that everybody goes through and orders, and you could take control of that. So it does differ. Now, some high schools are locked into it, where the same middle schools or elementary schools in the district they're not involved with any of the stuff that they're doing at, like, say, the high school, but it all differs based on your community, right? And like I mentioned, it is sometimes challenging to get into them. So knowing somebody or getting a foot in the door, starting to make that introduction is going to help you capture those sales, right? It's going to set you apart a lot farther than just going in and cold calling, right? If somebody knows you or you donate to the booster club, right? So all those things that really kind of make an impact into getting those jobs. But while they are difficult to get, they are absolutely fantastic repeat business that could essentially be one of your largest customers that keeps coming back and coming back year after year. So you want to make sure that you have those solutions available to be able to sell to your to your local school districts. I know that the school that my daughter goes to was using one of those online portals through a national company, but after some quality issues and pricing where they stopped essentially selling anything because it was just way overpriced. After the company took a sale, they moved back to an in-house model and then bulk runs with a local printer for the smaller orders. So you may see that happen with your district. It all depends on what the parents, and if they're not moving apparel, there's no point of having a store, right? And the quality issues were the main thing. I know I had got, I'm not going to mention the company that does it, but I had bought a hoodie for my daughter, a youth-sized hoodie for $65. And after one wash, the print started peeling off. So yeah, not cool. Not cool. And that's, I don't know, I complained. And I'm sure I wasn't the only one, right? And I understand I'm in the industry and probably the most critical, and I know how much that actually costs to produce. So somebody made a huge cut of that $65 because that hoodie probably cost $10 tops to produce. So I hope it went to the school, but something inside tells me it didn't go to the school, right? Or the school got a small portion of that, which is why they changed vendors. So, all right, end story time. After November, of course, or in November, we need to be thinking about those holidays. Now, if you want to get any sales together for Black Friday, that needs to happen in October. If you are producing for Black Friday in November, it is already too late. You want to ensure that you build enough time to be able to capture those sales either on your website. Now, if you're doing pre-orders or something to produce, that's fine. But really, once like Thanksgiving hits itself proper, you should already be full force into the winter holidays, right? Any gift ideas? We did these fun little ornaments. You could do them on these little embroidery hoops here with just some cut up pieces of like flannel material, or even just the wood ornaments for some nice customized add-ons. Of course, the ugly sweaters are incredibly popular still now. So you could do like the faux ugly sweater on just a crew neck, and any decorations as well. The kitchen towels make great gifts. And then we see a whole bunch of different ideas here, regardless of what celebration you are celebrating. And of course, just some general t-shirts that people love. You see all of those like matching shots for the Christmas cards. Of course, you got to be thinking about that. Even I think last year we took our Christmas card photo in like October, right? So if that's part of your audience, showing that you could do that stuff, incredibly popular and incredibly easy to sell. Of course, not just apparel items, but you could use heat transfers on a lot of different stuff, from these cork coasters, of course, to like say a pet basket. That's just burlap and an Ultra Color Max transfer printed on that, because it is personalized to the pet's name, right? So I made that for my little dog, little Baker dog, right? So he's not little, he's a humongous dog, and takes up the entire couch. But you could do these for your customers and add-on sales, even on a charcuterie board, being able to put Ultra Color Max on that. Of course, it was clear coated over with a food safe polyurethane, so that the repeated washing and scrubbing of the board would not pull any of the print up, as well as being food safe. So one thing to keep in mind there. The official cookie tester, if you or a family member or part of your audience has a tradition of baking cookies with loved ones during the holidays, a great thing that you would be able to sell all of those great gift ideas all in there. Yeah, Nilda said I had an extra transfer and put it on glass. Nailed it. Bingo. Exactly. Being able to print that stuff for those add-on sales, incredibly popular. Then, of course, when we look at December, you're starting to get already into the winter sports spirit wear. You should be full go, because as soon as that new year comes back and those kids go back to school, ski clubs starting up, those skiing trips, any ice skating rinks or sledding around your area is going to be in full force. And, of course, New Year's Day. If there's any New Year's parties in your area, I went to one when I lived in South Carolina that gave us a free t-shirt it was like one of those all-inclusive parties, but it was a free t-shirt that I got, right? So whether it be girls' nights out, bachelorette, bachelor parties that revolve around that New Year's Day holiday, on New Year's Eve, and then even looking into the celebrations for, say, like MLK Day, right? As we start looking into, again, 4 to 6 weeks ahead. Now, I did talk about Easy View a whole bunch. We talked about the idea book here that has all of this artwork in here. And we are already a little bit over time, but I still want to show you just an abbreviated view of it. So you could see going in here, here's a whole bunch of these class school lists as examples, or just general shirts here for just general spirit wear or choir. I think these are, but all of these have these nice little identifiers in here. In this idea book, that's included with the marketing kit that we linked in there. And yeah, like Mike mentioned there in the chat, it is on special for all attendees here today. So $15 off. That is the discount for it's our show special. So if you come to a trade show, that's the most they let us mark it down. We didn't get any approval on it. We just were like, hey, we're going to talk about things. We want to help people out today. Let's throw the special up. So hopefully we don't get in trouble for giving you guys some money off, but just see how incredibly helpful it is for your business. You get the samples, you get the idea book, you even get a color selector swatch book, right? So all of these screen printed ink colors that are available at Transfer Express, 70 plus standard ink colors, including the glow in the dark and the puff inks that we have available, that you get the actual color reference. So if you're saying like, well, that black color, is it really, really black? I don't even know where black is in this booklet, and you're not even going to be able to see it. Like, how does black look on my black shirt? Nope. I want something a little bit lighter. So let's go with, metallic graphite. Look at that, right? So you could see this. That's totally not going to focus on that. Okay, not focusing, but you can see the actual real ink. So it takes 102 physical screen printing screens to make this little booklet. That's also included in that kit, and they correspond with the colors and the designer. Enough talking about it. enough talking about it. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to show you the design over here real quick. I see Nilda asks, is there a calendar in the kit? There is not a calendar in the kit, but there is an ebook that we have that is the entire year-round printing calendar, covering some of the stuff that we have talked about here today, but even more, real in-depth. And you could download that ebook. Mike's going to be able to find, man, Mike's already one step ahead of me. Way to go, Mike. Throw in the link in there to that t-shirt printing calendar ebook that you could download. So over to the EasyView Online Designer, looks something like this at transferexpress.com. Let me just click off, and here you can see this is transferexpress.com, right? So hey, there's Steph. We have our live heat printing event coming up soon. So let's just click on the EasyView Online Designer right here at the top, and it's going to pop us right into our online designer. Let me go full screen to make sure that we can see everything here. And then let's go ahead and just pull a layout in. Let's just do a general school layout so you could see over 10,000 pieces of customizable clip art and layouts all available in here. Here's the layouts that are pre-made designs that we could easily just click and change from collegiate to general school or mascots. Here's some of these general school ones that we were looking at earlier, right? Like, ooh, Wolverine's right up there. Let's go Wolfie. I don't know. I like that one. That's cool. We're going to dive back into that. But you can see clip art too. So all of this clip art, if you want to search something like a bear, right? It's going to pull up. You're going to see a whole bunch of bears, whether it be the mascot or whether you're just, you know, trying to make some, oh, like nice little cute bear holding the t-shirt, right? Or this one getting artistic. There's a whole bunch of artwork in here that you could browse on your own time. I don't want to take your time finding some cool stuff, but like, let's click this brand new layout, right? So it pops in, imports. We could see that it's at an 11-inch print size. Maybe we don't need that. Maybe we do. Or you could just scale this and it updates in real time, right? So now we're at 7 inches. So really, really great stuff that you could get in here. And then let's say in here, I want this to be Panthers, right? So I could just type Panthers and I'll grab all of these other ones because then I could just duplicate this, right? Panthers. And I'm just going to hit Object, Duplicate. And it's just going to duplicate it right on up. And, or I could use my shortcuts, Control C, Control P, right? So it's just copy and paste and I rebuild it. Some layouts are able to do this for you. Some layouts you could edit. You could do anything you want. Now, this is not a panther, right? It's not a panther. We could go up here to the edit menu and click replace clip art. Let's go into clip art. And instead of a bear, what we were just talking about, panthers, right? So let's type in panther. We see a whole clip art library of a whole bunch of different panthers that just goes on and on and on in a whole bunch of different styles. Let's grab this little retro guy, pulls it right in. Let's go. What? Let's say our city name is just Lakeville, right? Let's go Lakeville, the Lakeville Panthers. We click on this one. It's Lakeville High School. So just like that, easy, click, set, ready to go. Looks fantastic. We could change our shirt color, say it's going on gold. We have a good idea of what it looks like, or maybe this is going on like a dark gray shirt and we want this to be white ink. We change everything all here in real time in just a couple clicks. You don't have to be a super designer to do it. Even if you want to make edits that you can't make in any other online designer, now we're spacing this out and adjusting letter spacing so it looks maybe a little bit more elegant, whatever you want it to be, or you want to scrunch them back up together. You could do a whole bunch of stuff. All of these applied effects like circle text or arches or orientation, you have that ability to change it. So if we wanted to remove this arch here, we could just click clear all and it goes to being straight, or we could click undo and it goes back to doing that, right? So here we could save this as a job if we wanted to make sure that our customers approved of it before we were able to do it and we didn't have to recreate it. Save it. It saves here on the internet. This is all internet-based, so you don't need a super powerful computer. It works on any device, and you could even recall it from your phone. Just log in, and you pull your account up, and anywhere in the world, you have access to your design. So really, really great. It saves only for you, so it doesn't like add into this layout catalog so nobody else could steal it or anything from you. It saves to your account only. But wait, there's more, right? We talked about pulling it all together for our customers so they could see it and realize it in real life, right? A design's cool. Yeah, it looks great, but I want to be able to show my customer this. So you have a watermark here that we could change, right? I'm just going to say Dave's Tees. So now it changes this watermark in real time to make sure nobody steals my artwork and goes to that, you know, just custom t-shirts in Google, right? No, we want to avoid that. And here we have a whole stock catalog of t-shirts that we could use. So here we see it mocked up on this t-shirt. Oh, also you could turn off the watermark too if you want to put it on Facebook or an online store or anything like that. Right here, that's what it's going to look like on a gray shirt, but your customer says, I want a next level 3600, which you're going to have very rare customers actually call out a specific shirt. You could even search it right here in this mock-up category. There's the next level 3600, one of my favorites. You see every available colorway that the shirt is actually made in, so you don't have to take any guesses. Here, graphite black, that looks sweet. We have a front view with a model, or we have a front flat view. We have a back view, just flat. You have all of this stuff pre-built into this designer. So we could just grab this. Let me go ahead and set my sizing here. And that's what it's going to look like on the back of a shirt. This is what it's going to look like on the front of a shirt, on a nice flat t-shirt. Download this one right here. Just go back, click download, and this is going to pull it as a web-ready PNG. So you could immediately email this to a customer to go, hey, what do you think? Looks good? Looks good, right? Whatever it needs to be, you have it all ready to go, saved. It's going to price you out here at the bottom when you type in your quantity. So let's just say we're printing for a school. I'm going to hide my little head here for a second so you can see the pricing. This is the full gang sheet size. So I'm just saying this is a huge print. Let's say it's 9 inches, right? We could fit this here. Let's grab this Panther. I'm just Control-C, Control-V to pop it out. That's a left chest print. We want to do some koozies, right? Or let's just grab some Panthers too, right? Like we just wanted to say Panthers, Panthers, Panthers. We can make that happen. Just select all of those, copy and paste it out. If I want to size specifically to 3.5 inches, bam, it's sized specifically, or I could grab those handles. Those inside tag prints, right? We talked about those up here too. Inside tags. You have all of these different tag prints that you could use. Bam. And now, just as easy as we were to change the details on that, that's an extra large. Now let's change it to large, right? You could change the details on all of these just like any other layout. And now I'm doing small, extra large, 2X, medium, extra small, whatever it may be. And I'm filling my gang sheet out. If I go here at the bottom and just set my quantity to 100, it's going to tell me it's $1.87. It says per image, but this is per sheet. $1.87 per sheet. So I get this print and this print and this print and this print and whatever I could fit here, all for $1.87. I'm really bad at math, but that is very, very, that's just pennies per print, right? Just a few cents per print that you are really not, you're profiting. It's all profit here for your business. Anything you could fit on the sheet with the same color, all prints. And wait, this actually tells me I could get it cheaper. Save me money. I could save $1.24 by just it because it knows the quantity breaks in here too. So if you see that at the bottom, save $1.24 by increasing my quantity to 108. So let's add 8 transfers. Keep an eye on our price right here, $187. Save me money. I added 8 and I saved almost $2. Look at that. Easy View Online Designer saving me money. If I save this, this saves all of the print method. So as we go through talking about our different print methods from screen print goof proof, which we're designing right here, or if we would just wanted to do full color, ultra color max, and just wanted to order one of these, right, as just a test print, we could delete all of this stuff. We'll look at our size right here, 9 by 9. Whoa, I don't need 100 of them. Let's just say I want one for a test print. It is, go back here to just square inch pricing. It's going to be $4.56 for just one of these. So you could see, you could price that out based all right here in the online designer to see what's going to be the best option for you. And it's all in here. Oh, wait. Yeah. Kareen says, yeah, there's even distressing. I'll show you that here. She says, wow, I didn't realize that. Took me hours in Canva last night to make a distressed logo. So here we have all of our logos in here. You want to add distressing? Single click, distressed. And that's exactly how it's going to print. There's 5 different distressing textures that we could pull in here, from some pretty distressed ones to a little bit lighter distressed, right? You could pull them all in here and say like, well, this text might not be readable. Okay, clear the distressing off that. Clear the distressing off this tiny text because I want it to be readable. And you want to know what? Let's grab all of this Panther and say clear on that. So now only this image up here is distressed in the outline. I told you. A lot more capable than a lot of other online designers out there that you have to pay for, right? And then you just order your prints all right here, go through your next step. So it tells you what fabric you're printing on. Hey, I'm going to be printing on, I don't know, let's just say here like sublimated apparel, right? It's going to say, hey, probably not recommended for that because you might have some dye migration, but 100% polyester. Cool. Green check mark. We are good to go, right? And even shopping blank apparel, like we mentioned, one more click would take us to our add to cart. So yes, all of this right here in the EasyView Online Designer, and really cost effective to use. It's free, right? No subscription. You don't even have to put in a credit card to sign up for an account. If you don't already have an account at transferexpress.com, sign up, because you could get access to the designer right now, right here today. And if you already do have an account and you haven't played around with it, you have access. Go ahead and start jumping in there and start making designs, right? You don't have to be a professional designer to do it. You could do it even if you can't draw a stick figure. Our artists are going to put that stuff together for you. So from building mock-ups, building those cost-effective gang sheets, to quoting your order, EasyView is the one-stop shop for anybody to jump in there. Now, of course, I did talk about places that we could sell before we wrap up here today. Online stores, pop-up shops, at the stadium on game day, or operating a retail storefront. We see a lot of businesses get really popular by just setting up a storefront near the stadium, in the parking lot, or having it close by. That storefront, that business closed, and now it's just vacant. Jump on in there, right? And get one close by if you're doing a lot of school wear, local community stuff. I know in the neighborhood that I live in, there are 2 t-shirt shops that coexist and thrive, right? Now, they're really great creative designs that they're doing. The one dude is a very famous illustrator that I've known pretty much my entire life, because this kid was like 6 years old making these Etch-a-Sketch drawings that were, I don't know, masterpieces, right? I've never been able to use an Etch-a-Sketch, and here he's doing like portraits of Bill Clinton back in the day. Like, wow, that's incredible, right? And so now he still does art, but he does it on t-shirts, right? I like to say that t-shirts are the most collectible art form in the world, because if you think about it, not a lot of people collect art and hang it on their walls, but a lot of people buy art on t-shirts and they wear them. So what better way, right? And so retail storefronts, online stores, even on social media, you could set up a portal to sell t-shirts on social media through Facebook, or TikTok Shop now is incredibly popular. Linking them, even like the product placement that you could link in on an Instagram post, right? So that people have the least many clicks that they could click to be able to buy stuff. And if you have your target audience already following you, man, you're already set up for success. And I know we talked about it already, but I do want to mention the marketing kit special that we have going on right now. Normally $55, $40. So you saw everything from the online designer to the idea book that really kind of helps connect it and helps you sell things. All of the examples that are included in that marketing kit. So you see, I have the idea book that's in that box. Hey, look, we saw those photos in that digital asset kit. So here they are in the book. You'll have the transfer itself somewhere here, right? I know this isn't the exact one, but I know this one is included in here, right? But you'll get the transfers themselves, just like we saw the transfer that's included on the cover right there. Here's one even for a family reunion, right? We see those family reunions jump in there. But you see all of these examples, a lot of them you will have. Hey, there's the back of that jersey, right? This dream. Guess what? On the transfers included, you're going to get that exact transfer. And we already saw that transfer being used in the digital marketing kit. So not only do you get a video of that shirt, you get a picture of that shirt you could post on social media. You get a transfer of that shirt. So when you go visit a real customer and they say, hey, do you have any samples that I could touch and feel? You show them the same exact thing that they already saw, even if you're just getting started and have never printed a t-shirt before. You have a marketing kit that essentially makes it look like you've been in business and have the ability of an entire artwork catalog to choose from, right? Hey, look, there's that Miller family reunion. And I'm going to bet, yep, sure enough, one of the transfers included right there is a Miller family reunion, right? So all of this here in the kit. You could even show them the entire guide of all of the colors. Oh yeah, you want to pick an ink color? Let's pick one out. What ink color do you like? Oh, you like this one? What is that? That's Jag green, right? Or shark teal, right? Some really great colors. Oh, look how it looks on a black shirt. Exactly what you're looking for. Perfect. So it really gives you those professional solutions that really help decorators succeed, even if you are a smaller business. I'm sorry, I bumped my microphone. Man, that would be I'm sorry for your ears. You also get a t-shirt that you could print right away that has that transfer. I print custom apparel. Or if you want to print that Central Valley, shirt, right? All my transfers are scattered down here. But you have that Central Valley t-shirt that's on the cover. We'll give you a black t-shirt if you want to make that exact t-shirt so that you could have all of those examples. So when you show up, hey, yeah, no, that's the actual t-shirt. Here you get your ink. All you need is a heat press to apply. So even at $55, this kit is an incredible value. If it helps you convert one customer, it's paid for itself, right? And it's the gift that keeps giving with those digital asset kits. So this is a very limited time special. Like I said, I didn't ask, so hopefully my boss isn't watching right now, knowing that I'm giving away a special on this kit that we reserve only for those trade shows and expos. So we also have an application kit. Commonly reached for items with applying. It even has this nice little like sizing shirt. You might be able to see that on the web page right there. And that is $75 for the combo. So that's still to show special pricing, which that is usually what, $90, I think, for both of those kits. So still $15 off, which it ships for $15. So essentially shipping for free for you, or getting the discount here with $15 off the regular retail price. And you get $15 off your next order, automatically accredited to your account. So right after you buy the marketing kit, if you convert a customer, you're going to get $15 off your order. And that's a coupon that's included with every marketing kit purchase. The digital asset kit that I showed you is automatically added to your Transfer Express account and updated seasonally. So I'm sure here coming in the beginning of July, I mean, even in June, we saw all of those new Spirit Wear flyers get added in there. And let me see if I could go back in there and then we'll answer some questions and wrap up here today. Thank you guys for hanging out. Let me click back over to this and I'll screen share back into our digital asset kit that we see here. So there's a video here that we have that shows you how to use the digital asset kit. So just like I showed you earlier, going in and looking at those videos for TikTok or Instagram Reels, the digital idea book. So just a digital version of the printed book. Of course, this one is customized to your business name. So your customer never even knows that Transfer Express exists. We are your secret weapon, but you have the digital PDF that you could download to send to your customers if you want them to browse. Of course, all of the mockups that you could, I didn't show you that in the Easy View Online Designer where there was that section that you could add the mockups. You could actually take a photo of a t-shirt and upload your own. So we have an additional kind of like stylized set right here. And then of course these flyers. So looking in on these flyers, you can see what we have available, the school spirit wear, summer sports, summer holidays. We see this stuff in here. Winning designs for softball. But you can see ones in here too that are already filled out. So if you have a customer that you're just kind of like, hey, this is some of the stuff that I could do. You could put these in here so your customer could be like, you know what? I like this one, KSL 300. EasyPrints.com just goes to a PDF version of that. Or you can make your own. So here's the blank version of it. You could go ahead and add your own all in there, right? And one that even doesn't say anything about EasyPrint. So you could put your own business name in here. And one great way to do that is just use the text function, put it in Easy View. And when you mock up, you would drag all of your same images to their respective t-shirts, drag your own name, find more at davestees.com. And I could just type it in right there. So it looks like a professional flyer. And I'll just click download like I was downloading that mock-up to send it out and send it to our customers. But that's kind of what that video on that front page was showing here. And you could see even ones for summer sports or summer holidays. This obviously has just passed, and you're not going to be printing for 4th of July in a week or advertising for it unless you are super lightning fast. And then in case if you are lightning fast to be able to advertise and produce apparel and have it delivered to your customer within 1 week, tell me how. Absolutely love it. Let's go back onto our slides and I'll answer any questions we have before we wrap up here. And my microphone's in the way and I just want to make sure I'm clicking the right button. But I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out today. We'll go back through, and that marketing kit special, of course, is only good for the next couple days and attendees here of the webinar. So be sure to take advantage of that if you don't already have a marketing kit. And we are happy to help you, support you in that digital asset kit. There's that little video. And also if you go over to the Transfer Express YouTube page, you will see that video there as well that shows you how to use the marketing kit kind of similar to what we talked about here at today's webinar, as well as taking kind of the steps to use it in person as well, right? And all of that stuff updated in there. Sherry says, I was hoping you had a color swatch listing of the color values for Ultra Color Max. Yes, we do have 250 colors in our standard set of Ultra Color Max. Now, I will say that the colors are targeted to our Plastisol ink colors. So these are a pretty good approximation of how they will look printed if you color it using one of the swatches in the EasyView Online Designer. But we have not got to that huge catalog of those new kits. So Kathy says, I'm sorry, where do I find the digital kit? The digital kit should be up in your dashboard at transferexpress.com. Hold on one second. I'll go back there and navigate so that you could see. Let me get it pulled up, and then I'll screen share. There we go. Transferexpress.com. Let's go back to our screen share window. And bam. So when you have when you purchase the marketing kit, you'll see it right here in your account. So my account is called Sample Orders. But that would have your business name right here, and you'll see digital marketing kit. And if you click on that digital marketing kit, it's going to shoot you right on over to that digital portal where you're going to be able to download those. So when you buy that, that'll be up in there. Miguel asks, Pantone Bright Red C is a hex, but when I type it into the custom Pantone color text box with and without a number, it says no color found. So you are using a hex value of the Pantone. Bright Red might be like 112 or something. I had a Pantone book here, but I just lent it to one of our graphic designers. So Heather, if you're listening to this, bring me my Pantone book back. I'm kidding. But so you would see an actual number. For screen printing, you always want to go off the coded value of a Pantone. So not the uncoded. The Pantone coded book is the one that we'll use to match screen printing Plastisol inks to. So when you have that 3 or 4 digit code for that Pantone value, that will put in there. For a hex code, you could probably type that in just into Google and say, like, what is Bright Red C, and pull it up into there. Or if it's just like bright red, because some of them are like process blue, I'm not sure if you're able to actually type in there. That might be a great question, Miguel. Fantastic. Francis, there is no code for ordering with the marketing kit. You have to use that special link that Mike put in the chat to order it with. Otherwise, if you just navigate to it on the website, like here, you'll notice marketing tools. If we click down to the marketing kit, that this is at a higher price point than that link. So that's a special link that Mike's sending in the chat. So click that link if you want to pick up one with the discounted price for today. That one's in there. Kathy says, so much, it's just not there yet. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. We're always happy to help. Always happy to help. Mando asks, can you elaborate on the customization? So yeah, customization, sleeve prints, right? So like if I wanted to put a name here, you could put a name and then be able to order that in the EasyView Online Designer as well, right? So if we go here just to Transfer Express, of course, the team builder function, I didn't show too much, but we'll switch on over to Ultra Color Max, right? And pull in the team builder. And so with Team Builder, you have layouts, the same as we had layouts with all of the other ones. But here we have like just basic players or ones more suited for like player uniforms with baseball. So like this one, you could have each player, they have a script and tail team name on the front. Let's just say, I don't know, something like Rangers, right? So we have our script and tail right here on the front. We have our player name and a number, but when we click on Team Builder, we could click right here to add players, right? So let's say it's Dave. I'm going to be number 17. And then there's just some extra names we'll put in here. Right? I don't know why I'm on an Italian name kick, but we are. And then, yeah, so you see, I'm just putting in names and numbers. Let's make Roberts 11. Is that a period or a comma? I want to make sure it's a comma. Otherwise, it's not going to put in. So like when I add player, I could go back here and now I could preview and all of these are set. All the names that I put in here are all set to, it says it has Rangers for my front print. And then it also has the last name and the number all right here. And it tells you your pricing as you go out. So $9.24 per player, all ready to go. So that will be like, these will arrive all together. So I could just cut the Rangers, put it on front, and I have Roberts and the number already pre-aligned with the name on the back, really simplifying that. So that's kind of how that team builder works. Shirley asks, like, can you go a quick minute to share the steps into the graphics to create a design? Yes. So I'll show you this too. Let's just go to YouTube, right? So youtube.com/transfer express. And there are tons of videos here all the time. Oh, yep. Good job, Dave, for putting a comma in there. Came from the team builder where I was putting commas, right? So here we're all set. We're able to put this in. And then if you go here to playlists, you'll probably even see it on this homepage too. I click too quick, but you'll see Easy View Online Designer tutorials. So you could look at this whole playlist, little bite-sized chunks that go into all of the customizing and designing, because I could be here for another 2 hours literally showing you all of the functionality. So just how to add and edit layouts, how to replace clip art, from custom mockups to adding and editing effects, color mapping, ungrouping artwork, distressing, all the stuff that we did here. So you can see all of these videos and even a tutorial on how to use that team builder, right? That we just updated as well. So all of these little bite-sized tutorials, or there's even some 2-hour-long master classes, webinars that I've done just like this that go over all of it. So Shirley, make sure you're subscribed over there. Tons of info that's going to help you out that you could take and digest and consume and watch all on your own time. Because we're already, I think, way over time here today. But you also get the replay to this one to see the replay of the example that I just used here as well. But great question. And Shirley and everybody else here, we are always, always happy to help in any way we can, whether it be design or custom t-shirts or anything. You could always call us 1-800-622-2280. Visit us at trade shows, connect on social media, or of course, watch us on YouTube, new videos every single week, those playlists full of stuff on there. More than happy to help out. And of course, if you're interested in picking up that marketing kit special, available to everybody who attended the webinar here today. I really appreciate everybody hanging out. And we're here to help any way we can. We'll be back in just a couple weeks with I believe, a Toast to Transfers coming up. So we have a kit that's like a live press along kit. So it's like a wine and design or a paint and sip night, but we do it over the internet with heat printing. So awesome. Thank you guys so much here today. Any other questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll try to download it and get back to you if we weren't able to answer it. And we'll follow up with a replay just in case you missed anything here. And of course, until next time, I'm Dave, and Mike was joining us in the chat as well. Happy pressing. We'll see you next time.